What's up, everybody? Hey. Okay, so this is just kind of a how I feel video, okay? I think it'd be important to see how the community feels. And we're going to talk about these ships, okay? And it's kind of almost like a presentation-ish type feel, but I think it needs to be addressed. I think we need to talk about these things. I think coming to IAE now, after the CitizenCon we saw, I think a few things need to be talked about, personally. I don't see other people talking about it, and I'm the guy that straight up, truthfully doesn't have any funding or any, like, allegiance to CIG, other than I just want to see them succeed, right? For all of us, right? Okay. So, first thing, before CitizenCon, some things happened that made me question the ethics of CIG, okay? And I told you that at October, basically the end of October, we would know a lot, and I think we do. And I'm hoping I'm wrong. And I'm kind of leaning towards I'm not. So that's why I want to show you these ships and let you kind of form your own opinion and give me your feedback, because we're all in this together, right? And you know, we want to see it happen, but there has to be a point where maybe we just walk away. And then if it ever does succeed, our friend tells us how awesome it is and we go play it, right? Or we get an email. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay. So I truly believe, and this is the format kind of this video, is that ships could be delivered in the order that they were announced. And they should be, because it's a crowdfunder and it doesn't matter what business model you're using. When you present features and you ask for donations or payment, it's expected that those features will be released in an order, right, of which they are received, unless otherwise said that they will be updates after the game is completed. And that is a big deal and a big ethical thing, I think, that CIG should have done and probably should do from now on. But what's done is done, and here's why I think we should still be getting these in order, okay? It's not right to make imaginary ships that don't even exist or haven't even been mentioned as being developed when there's such a big log or backlog of ships you had people pledge for to fund your crowdfunding campaign and haven't delivered on. So a simple way to kill a lot of the tension and still tick everyone off, obviously, for a little bit, would be to announce that a list of ships will not be completed till after the game is developed. That way there's no more BS, no more hurt people, no more emotional bull, and essentially we'll know what they truly are working on, right? And that they're not wasting resources on stuff that doesn't matter to us. And actually, I think if we take it one step further, if they cared about us, the consumer, they would give us a place to basically vote for the ships that we want done, like, let's say the top 10, right? Because there's more than that, surprisingly. And that way they'll be in the first, development of ships, a line of development, or the first update, because I mean that's how games normally do it. If there's a new feature, it comes in an update after the game is polished and functional, right? Okay, so now I got that out of the way, let's move on to my little slideshow and let's kind of talk about the ships that aren't here that should be here, like this poor Apollo. How old is this thing now? I know, and a fun fact, I know the actual designer of this. I got to talk to him about something that we're working on, and I'm actually about to get a hold of him again and get some contract going, because he's an amazing designer, and I would really like to work with him on some conceptual stuff that will give birth to some really cool new aircraft designs for the future of a business that I'm a part of. So anyways, this ship, what was holding it back? I mean, medical, right? We've got more than enough medical now, though, right? This so-called, I don't want to call it gameplay, whatever the play is, it's basically that, you know, you're doing something medically, and we have rovers that do that now. We have ships that have the beds that do it. I mean, why did this happen? And it's good that it happened, but it's bad that the ship doesn't exist, right? This was in concept years ago, several years ago. In a ship this size, we now know, because of what our lead developer of ships has said, it takes roughly, or well, I pull it back. It was one of the developers that was really important in it, said it took them a year, okay? A year to create a ship this size, okay? So think about that. So this ship should exist, and it's been several years, all right? And you can argue they were working on the game or whatever, but we all know what it really had to do is they were trying to just push out the next big thing that had the most hype so they can get a lot of people to buy it, or excuse me, to donate for it. And that's another misconception. You're not buying ships, you're donating, you're giving your money away, hoping that that feature will be developed because of the funds you're giving them. There's no guarantee, and they say that in fine print. So please understand that before you give them any of your hard-earned cash, money, whatever. Okay, let's get that out of the way. And I'm tired of seeing other content creators who have way more of a following than me saying that it's a purchase and that they basically have rights, and that you know, there should be some accountability because of the purchase. Well, no, they don't have any. That's the issue. What the accountability should be is that they're delivering the features in an ethical way. That's how I feel. Like, and if they're not, then everybody needs to get the heck away from this. You know what I'm saying? Walk away. It's simple. It's like a buyer beware thing, correct? All right. Anyways, enough of that. So this ship should exist. I think it'd be really awesome. It's a simple ship to make. It's an RSI ship that will, I personally think, looks awesome, because we know where it kind of has its similarity from, right? A very awesome sci-fi show that I used to watch with Gramps, you know what I mean? But anyways, let me know what you think. I kind of want, with this video, for us to, I want to hear feedback. What, out of all these ships, which one do you want to see? If you could pick only one of these, what one would you want to see? And then I want to hear one that maybe not is on this list that you would like to see, right? As I like to get feedback, and I like to kind of, like, I post this stuff in places where CIG has to deal with it, and that's just kind of my fun little hobby. But anyways, next, okay, so we're gonna move on to the next ship. I think Apollo should be here now. It's perfect time. If I don't see it at IAE, definitely first strike out of the 3 strikes, and then I'm done for a long time with Star Citizen. If there's no server meshing, okay, and I'll know even if they try to fake it, because I think there's a pretty deep, there's a 50-50 chance that they're going to try and fake that server meshing works. That's what I'm thinking. There's ways to do that, trust me. Oh, trust me. They can create that illusion. And see, they've been kind of doing that, like trying to create the illusion that this thing works good for a while. We know that, and it's been glitchy. And they have to create the illusion of progress, right, for a crowdfunding campaign to continue, right? Because they have to show progress, or they have to pay their money back if they're not delivering. And that's the whole thing I don't understand. Why doesn't this why haven't they give back like the money that they had from the crowdfunding campaign, right? Because they didn't ever deliver a physical game. Squadron 42 not finished. We saw that at CitizenCon. Star Citizen way not finished. Look at the backlog of ships, like I said. But anyways, this is a ship that I'm really upset about, and this is what really made me sad whenever CitizenCon ended. When like I said, at the end of October, I knew there was going to be some stuff happen, and here's what happened to me. And a lot of us actually, it sucks. The thing I take away is not that this ship doesn't do base building, which was the main rant from people, right? The thing that I take away is that the lead developer for ships said that we're not currently in development on that ship, or basically they're not working on this ship at all. Whoa, what? Weren't we promised? well, not, see, that's the issue. Weren't we hyped up that essentially this ship would exist pretty soon? I mean, we know that the Zeus took a year to develop. This is a little bit more, but I mean, how long has it been since it was announced, right? And then to top it off, there's the whole base building modularity issue. Like, we kind of knew that modularity was a big hype thing and may not even exist for a long, long time, right? But again, this stuff should be outlined for after the game releases, and say that this feature will be here, this feature will be here, and it contains this. That's the whole problem with this model. Instead of saying, oh, here's a development, this is when you're gonna get this and this and this. No, 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 no. This is a development, right? You don't have a finished polished game, okay? So stop saying that, oh, you'll get these ships and all that. No, 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 no. You deliver a ship, then you ask for funding to continue developing ships. Get it? You deliver the features, then you ask for funds to keep delivering the features. See? Don't let them con us anymore. That's the thing I have an issue with. I like CIG's dream, like everyone else, but I'm making a real world version of it happen. So that's my other rant about all this. Is like, if I had the money CIG has, I'd be asking my buddies to come fly with me, you know, to some other country on a VTO aircraft that looks like something out of Star Citizen. But that's just me. I mean, that's a lot of money, guys. We could have, you know, basically helped one country not to be in poverty. I mean, that's another issue. But, like, I digress, right? Moving on. So, that was my main issue with the RSI Galaxy. I think it's an awesome ship. I love the Doritos-style ships. When they started doing that, I was like, yeah, it's cool. It's somewhat functional. It makes sense. You know, it's more in space, but it can go in atmosphere, and the design makes some sense. Yeah, there's a little bit of clutter, and to make it look more sci-fi, that's fine. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. I still don't understand where we're going to have it, though. That's my thing. I think it could have been here, this IAE, especially if they got server meshing done. And then we see all these other ships that are supposedly being developed. If they stop doing that, okay, guys, then here's what'll happen. They can finish the game. They need to pick 10 ships, finish them, and deliver them. And they should have done that this year, in my opinion. If they'd have delivered 10 major backlog ships, let us vote for it before all that, and then delivered them, oh my gosh, they'd have made so much more money. And we'd all be happy come Christmas, right? Here she is. All right, I'm going to pause it and let you see. So, the MISC Odyssey. Okay, another MISC ship. Okay. Not my cup of tea because functionality, practicality, real life, engineering, like these things all play a role to me. And honestly, there's a lot of blunt surfaces. We don't do that. Even in space, we're not going to do a blunt surface. I don't care what type of propulsion it supposedly is. You don't do that. That's just me. The round shape and everything, that's kind of cool. Personally, I don't think this is their worst ship. I like this ship. It's the go-to ship for just about everything. I mean, so we were told, right? I don't understand why this ship doesn't exist. I mean, if your workflow is properly managed, properly laid out, this would exist. This ship here, I don't care how hard it is. There is software, there's AI, there's all these things that have come out in the last year in a way that they're extremely useful and they could have been on this and it could be done. I'm sorry. This could be done. It's another ship that I feel like probably should be here for IAE. That's just me. It would be an awesome ship. If we're going to get base building, this would be a really fun ship. I believe it has medical. What doesn't this ship do? You let me know. I don't know what it doesn't do, you know? I didn't get it because, like I said, for me, it's just not my cup of tea. I think it's a cool ship, though. I think there was some decent thought into this. I think the exterior just don't make a lot of sense, but, you know, whatever. It could be a fun ship for people to get on if the game is ever completed, right? But for everything that they promise, they could deliver. And that brings us to this guy. So here's the thing. The MISC line, or no, not even the MISC line, okay? Like the Starlancer, this ship, in my opinion, is as bad as the Hull C's shape. Like when you look inside of a Hull C, when you're in the interior, and you look at the ship on your little screen, what does it look like, right? And to me, that I have to ask if that's an accident. I think they're literally being that shape, right? But that's me. This ship is the ugliest ship I've personally seen in Star Citizen, my opinion. I understand if you like it, whatever. I could see how some people might like it, especially if you like MISC ships. Okay, fine. Not me. But it really made it ugly to me whenever I saw that this was released within the time period of when the Galaxy should have been being completed, right? Like if we were going by first come, first serve, like it really should be, out of ships that wouldn't be that impossible to complete, I feel like Galaxy should be here. That's me. Let me know what you think. And I do not give a crap about the Starlancer because since features have been cut, who cares? It's just another ship. I mean, that's going to get me onto the next ship and why I think the next ship makes more sense. Honestly, here we go. Get ready for this. Just kind of do. Oh yeah, look at that. Round, crazy looking. To me, it kind of looks like a turd. A polished turd got pushed out. I mean, that's just me. So let's move on a little bit. Boom. All right. This one. Banu Merchantman. Boy, was that a fiasco, right? If you've been here long enough, that was a mess. And essentially, their engineers left for this guy, right? Like they were like, oh, not having it. And they went. We don't know the full story, but it's rumored, and I think it's true, that some of the important people working on this went to Star Atlas, you know, the crypto game. And actually, that game ain't looking bad now. I'm gonna be real. And they're running Real Engine 5. I think 5.5 now, but who cares, right? Anyways, this ship almost done, supposedly. I don't get why it didn't happen. I mean, again, first come, first serve. I know it's a crowdfunding model, but you're that freaking close. You should have got on getting it done and delivered, because people are happy when they get what they order at McDonald's. I'm kidding, but like, I mean, most of us have trouble eating at McDonald's now, right? But let's not get into that. I'm not a hater of McDonald's. I'm just saying. If you're at a place like that, you order your meal, right? You expect to get your meal. You know, it doesn't matter how cheap it is. You get the meal. You wait your time and get it. But you're going to get it that day, because if you don't, you're going to get your money back, right? That's what I'm trying to say. All right, so let's move on. Banu, I hope to see you, but I sadly doubt that I will for quite some time, if ever. Now let's play it. Guess what? Boom, boom. All right, so the Crusader Starliner. Guess what? This is the ship I was talking about before, the Banu Merchantman, that I think should exist. Out of my top big fat ones, it's probably going to be the Apollo and the Starliner. I think, don't matter the gameplay. That's a terrible excuse at this point. You could have your buddies get on this just like a 600i or 890 jump and have some fun, right? We don't need some crazy game loop for it to exist. And out of all the ridiculous freaking things that CIG has done and delivered, like the Starlancer that makes no dang sense, like many others, right? Before all the other quarry of ships that's sitting there waiting to be developed or finished, I don't understand why this isn't done. It'd be a fun ship. You could have your buddies on it, and it has cargo space, right? So tell me why it's not here. Tell me what you think. Like, would you play with this guy? Would you take your buddies around? I mean, if it's supposed to be a game where, like they keep saying, oh, you need a crew, you need friends, you can't be a loner so much in this game, then why doesn't this exist? Like, I could see a use case for this where I'm leaving planet side and I don't want to have to pull out my big ship, right? And I want to go to like one of the, you know, essentially space stations, and pulling the ship out there, right? Especially if you're doing like a Hull C or something, right? This would be awesome because I could just get on it and hang out with people, maybe meet new people and do it. Like if they're really serious about people playing the game together, this is like the biggest freaking staple for that out of the whole game, right? CIG, what the heck? Like, come on. But that brings me on the next little bit. So we got the Starliner, right? And then some things I thought about the Starliner that were cool. It's like, hey, look, they got all these variants, you know, for it. But I thought it was a little odd that one of the variants is RSI's logo when it's a Crusader ship. So to me, you find all these little like hiccups with Star Citizen and with CIG in their development. And it's becoming pretty obvious that they don't really have a solid workflow, which is one of the biggest problems with anyone in business. There's so many people that management or some problem in their workflow overall as a company fails because some weak link in the whole thing just fails. And that's what this looks like to me. I mean, I've seen it over and over, so saying. But I think it would be awesome to be able to have any of this, right? Pretty cool. We could imagine with what they're saying about orgs, right? Like imagine if you could do this and have your org logo on it. Now that would be legit. And they could do this without any real game mechanic behind the ship. Like I said, again, all the ones they've released that didn't have a game mechanic, then why the heck can't this be there? And it's so old at this point on the query of things. Like the list of to build or finish ships, this should have been done, man. Like I don't get it. And honestly, even as an engineer, this is not that complex of a ship. It really isn't. It's not that complex of a design to make. I mean, the size of it's not too much bigger than ships that already exist with Crusader. So I don't know. Let's go on in. I'm going to look here at the interior. Okay, well, that's kind of a layout of it. I forgot I put that slide in there. Apologize. But essentially, look at that. I mean, that could be fun, right? And look at how many people you could get in there. I mean, imagine the paint schemes and cool things we could do with it. Wow. All right, moving on. Okay, so this interior is still with this genre, or, you know, I guess hopeful gameplay that I don't think even you really need missions for or anything at this point to make it useful and the game and fun for now, and you know, maybe even bring some of the tensions down. It's definitely something as a content creator I could see either one of these ships being useful because you can get your orgs or your friends involved and have some fun. There's so many things you could do with it, right? Like a mission where you're like kind of playing like a Western type thing out where they come on in the carriage and, or excuse me, on the train and like, give me your watch, you know, like there's so many things we could do with this. It'll be a lot of fun. And it's very disappointing to me that they haven't done it. And that gets me on to the point of this slide. And it's that the ship that this belongs to in reality is a variant, right? And they've released both other variants, excluding this one, okay? And the problem I have with that is like, well, when you build it, you should have them all physically done to some extent so that when you come back, you don't have to completely redo it. So at this point, I don't see why this ship couldn't be at IAE this year. I don't understand if it doesn't show up, why it hasn't. It makes no freaking sense to me. The only thing, and that's the next slide, here's the thing I'm trying to think. Okay, so if you, this is one of the most important pictures, and I think one of the reasons why this thing may not be here yet. It's again, poor workflow, poor planning, okay? So check this out. We're gonna play her through, and I'm gonna show you, give it a second. Come on now, get her done. Do. Seriously. I remember this being shorter. Oh, there. That's what it is. Okay. So, the thing that's wrong with this image to me is their main problem. Essentially, where do you enter? Okay? Any airline, FAA regulations, there has to be a minimal of, I think it's actually 4 points, but essentially here, you would think 2 would work, right? Because this is more of like, again, like a Learjet or something like that, right? Small personal aircraft that can, you know, take your team of, I don't know, business people or whatever, right? But look at it. I only see the one entrance, just like on all the other variants. And that is kind of tacky and a stupid thing if you're going to make a supposed, like, somewhat luxury transport vessel or ship, whatever. And I think they might have figured that out. And then they're like, well, what do we do now? I don't know. Let's just let it set. Maybe people forget. That's what I think happened here. We'll find out. And again, to me, this is all boiling out to IAE this year. If it doesn't hit it, IAE 2024, and I just kind of, I'm done, guys. I'm sorry. I have another channel, though, and we're going to talk about real-world spacecraft I'm developing, VTO aircraft I'm helping develop, and some other fun stuff, game-related, not game-related. I like sci-fi stuff. We'll still probably check on Star Citizen's development and have some fun there, too. But I have another channel. I'll link it at the bottom. And it's about to... I haven't started posting yet because I've been busy, and honestly, I'm trying to make sure I take care of you guys on this channel too. This is free, no commercials, you know, try to bear with me, okay? But anyways, let's wrap this up. Essentially, there's my main issue. All these ships could and should exist. And this ship is another one of the ones to me that are kind of like, they're the line cutter, right? The person in line that cuts in front of you. And that's what happened here. And that's my main issue with all this is like, you can't keep having line cutters, right? And then saying, well, donate money to this line cutter. You know what I'm saying? Like, this hype train and psychological marketing, it's not right at this point. Like, here's my suggestion, okay? And then that's what it is. I don't know if CIG will ever see this. I don't know if they'd even care, but I hope they'd be smart enough to hear me. Here's how you do this, like I was saying earlier. You need to pick a minimum of 10 of your ships. And I would do waves of 10 considering you have such a huge backlog. And you let them vote for their favorite 10. And I would probably do it whenever you get enough resources to go for the next, I would say 6 months, probably. And develop those 10 ships to completion. Put all you got into it, okay? Now, after those 10 ships are done, to this point, and this is kind of how this year should have played out. Essentially, after those 10 ships are made, you release them at IAE. That's it. And after that, at IAE, you announce, here is the order of updates that will include these ships after game is complete. And understand, our bad, we didn't deliver them as we had hoped to, but now we have a solid plan on how to get you your ships and to deliver on the insinuated promises that we have made. And those updates are, and will happen at the latest every year, okay? So when the game is finished, they should be giving them out like normal, like console games, right? And that should have like a couple, it doesn't have to have like 10 ships in it, but it needs to have one and like some cool updates for the game itself. And see, if they do that, they can focus for the next year on just developing the game. They don't got to crowdfund for other ships. They have enough ships. You know what I'm saying? Like, here's an idea. Make the 600, like a ship like the 600i completely function. Have espresso machines. Have bars that have all the stuff that you can see in them actually able to be interacted with. Have mirrors that truly reflect your reflection of your character. Have engineering. All the dreamful things you promised you can make come true. And you can add them in these little module updates. But for now, You have to finish. And you've got to give, I would say, a minimum of 10 ships. If I didn't see 10 ships at IAE this year, or an amazing improvement on the whole game's FPS, a few really good features, and let's say server meshing running like a boss, and proof that their new engine is amazing because we play it on a live server, then I honestly, I'm done. I'm done with this game for a while. I want to see it finished and polished at this point. And I got stuff to do in the real world. If I had the money that CIG has, you, my friends, would be flying around with me in a real spaceship that looks like something like a 600i. That's the truth. And if you think I'm crazy, go look up how much it costs NASA to build a space shuttle. I know the number. So we're getting there, and the stuff that with the modern technology we have, we could do it. But that's a whole nother topic, and that's another channel. And if you want to see that channel, I'm going to link that in this video and only in this video. And that's why it exists, because at this point, it's up to CIG, and it's up to us if we support it any longer. If you're a new potential player of this thing that wants to be a game, go through this video over and over before you consider putting a pledge down, because you're simply giving away your money. And if you read the fine print, my friends, you're going to find out that they can do whatever they want. And if you look at their track record, as I'm trying to explain here, they do not do things in order of how they show them. And that's a big problem. So CIG, I hope you do the right thing this year. And I hope that you at least get a few ships out, and that your server meshing is amazing. That would be the best Christmas present ever for most of us if this thing just freaking worked. I mean, honestly, there's enough ships right now. If you make all the ships work and look super awesome and all the features work and server meshing works, dude, that's the biggest Christmas present ever. I don't need any other ships right now. You can give me them again in updates after you complete the game. Let me know how you feel about that. But anyways, that's it. That's kind of my structural rant and, you know, my update on my new channel that I'll start posting on after this. I'll still do Star Citizen videos if there is a Star Citizen, and it'll be fun. So you have any questions, you have an idea for a new video in this channel, or there's anything you need me to show you on like how-to videos, I still do that. But just let me know. I hope you all are doing well. I hope that you're not too stressed out about Star Citizen. And I hope you find some of these new games. There are some really cool new sci-fi games coming out, and I'll probably announce that on this channel as well. And we'll maybe do a comparison video. Let me know what you think. Anyways, have a good day, guys, or night, and I'll see you next time. Bye.